I'll just set that to the side. Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. And let's see if you are old school. If you are old school, then you know who is sitting next to me. If you are not old school, if you haven't known me that long, this is my friend Mike Kitson.
Hello.
And you can sort of see Teddy right there. There's Teddy. Yes, we're pandering to the adorable dog owners and service animal owners around the world. It's super simple. Hey, who is a happy dog? He's a very happy dog. He got a little spooked by the thunderstorms earlier today. Um, so Mike is going from Indiana and moving out of the country. And on his way out of the country, he can tell you all this stuff. Uh, he's like, "Hey, I'm coming through your town. I was going to stop by." I'm like, "Hey, that would be great. I haven't seen you in 3 decades. That would be cool." And so he stopped by. We had lunch. We tried to do a photo shoot with the Viper, but we also had a gnarly storm come through, and we knew Teddy was back here at the house. We jetted back to the house through just nasty weather. Went out to dinner, and now we're here with you guys. So we thought it would be fun because Mike and I have a lot of car history together. He's had some really cool cars, and his dad's had some cool cars. And so I thought we could do something like this and do kind of one of the BS shop hangs because we're waiting on parts for this. Still stripping off the Black Miata stuff, waiting on parts for the limo. So I figured we'd do a cool kind of just hang out tonight and do a fun shop hang. Um, the one story I wanted to tell, and Mike can add details and correct me. And I've told a couple of you folks this story, but this one goes way back. And this is when we both grew up in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Well, I grew up in Steamboat Springs. Mike, how long did you live there?
Oh,
6
2 years, 2.5 years.
No, you're there longer than
Was
that.
I?
Yeah, because you had the Jimmy. I remember the Jimmy, and then you had the Jeep, the two-door.
The Jeep was my mom's.
Oh, okay. But didn't you have them at separate times, or you have them at the same time?
Same time.
Oh, okay. I thought you had them at separate times.
Yep.
You were longer. You were there longer than 2 years, though.
Well,
Maybe a little bit longer.
I think I got sent away to boarding school for my junior year.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, I thought it was longer than 2 years. Anyway,
It might have been.
we did an incredible amount of stupid shit in 2 years, like a laundry list, like a CVS receipt list of dumb shit in 2 years, and a lot of it was with my brother. Mike was in the same class as my brother, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and so there were a lot of adventures that we did. We'll just call them adventures because most of them are insanely illegal. Kids today talk about, oh, we did this, we did that. The shit that we pulled off, if we had phones in our pockets, we would be in prison. We would still be in prison. Actually, probably not prison. We would have just a plethora of misdemeanors against us. We would have hundreds and thousands of dollars of fines and I don't know, probably 10 to 12 years of community service.
Well, thankfully, there weren't cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
like today.
Today, yeah, you can't go 20 feet without a camera. Hashtag flock camera. So thankfully, we didn't have that stuff, but we do have our memory and we have the crazy stories that we did. And Mike and I were talking about some of them earlier. So I'm like, no, save that for the live stream tonight. And he's like, oh, okay. But some of them kind of went over the whole course of time that you were in Steamboat. And one of the biggest ones was my brother and his Renault Lacar. Now, and I've talked to you folks about my brother and his Lacar before. My brother thought he had a 1984 Renault Lacar four-door. It was brown with two-tone shit brown as the second color. If you don't know the Renault Lacar, you should definitely go look them up. And I think it had like 68 horsepower or something. And he had that crazy J.C. Whitney cassette deck. Remember the high-speed dubbing cassette deck?
Yeah.
And anyway, so Mike has a huge GMC Jimmy. What was it? 80,
It was a
Two?
76.
76,
76 GMC Jimmy.
and it's on like full suspension, full body lift, 38, whatever, 36.
It had 33 1250
33s.
15s and
It a
4-inch lift kit.
winch front,
glass
winch in the
packs.
back. You had the tire carrier in the
Yeah.
back. It was super badass. It was really nice. You had a foot warmer. I remember the foot warmer.
Yeah.
For the CB, that was a big thing. I was so jealous of that foot warmer. I eventually did get one, but it was years and years later.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what a foot warmer is for CB radio, go look it up. And I don't know, they're probably still illegal. I remember the one in here. It was a foot warmer for a reason because that was not 1 watt. I think it was something like 60 watts or something. You
Yeah.
could transmit. That was like a radio station transmitter. It was
Yeah.
serious.
Wanted to make sure we could transmit from the top of Rabbit Ears.
Yeah, to the rest of the globe. So, yeah, GMC Jimmy, and I had a '73 Cherokee Chief 2-door, and I had rebuilt the engine. I'd done the suspension. I
Beast.
the Beast, like 30-inch tires on it, and mine was really rough compared to Mike's. Mike's was like super nice and had all the cool electronics and stuff. Mine was kind of
I don't remember it that way, but
high schooly, put together, sort of. I remember my badass brush guard.
yeah.
I remember that because I made that in high school in metals class. I didn't use steel tubing for the bumper bar. I used steel rod, 2.5-inch rod. That brush guard, and then I used rod for the around the headlights, and then I used plate for the center section. That brush guard had to weigh 300 pounds.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was nuts.
Nothing could scratch it.
No, no. So we had all these crazy adventures. My brother, so Mike and I have these big lifted 4-wheel drive, heavy duty off-road vehicles, and we did crazy off-road stuff. The big thing when we were in high school was Spring Creek was a huge one, and I remember going up the wall at Spring Creek. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And then our favorite was Forest Service Road 296. And that's up at the top of Rabbit Ears Pass on the west summit of Rabbit Ears Pass, just after it. It's like a mile after it.
Yeah. On the north side of the road.
Yep. And now it's like a super popular site. Everybody goes there, and there's like fifth wheel trailers and shit camped out right there. It's like,
They ruined it.
well, no, they're just kind of at the front, and there's like a parking lot there. Before, it was one little sign that was like this big, and it had the numbers 2, 9, and 6 on there, and it
Yep.
just, that was it. And it like a little Forest Service symbol at the top.
Yeah. If you blinked, you missed it.
You drove right past it because it was just a little dirt road, 2-track dirt road, and it made a right turn as soon as you got off of US 40. It made a right turn, and then it kind of disappeared. You would have to look up into the hill, like back and up, and then you could kind of see where it went. And where it went was actually back towards Steamboat. It went back towards Walton Creek, and it went way, way, way back there. And we had a ton of great times there.
And it
So-
was following the Continental Divide.
Yeah, it was on
Right up there, right
Yeah.
above tree line.
yeah, right at tree line. It was really cool. And it was one of our favorite off-road places. We would go camping there on the weekends all the time. And
Get snowed on in June.
yeah, shit. The weather up there, it was nuts. So we would go off-roading. We would do all these off-road adventures. And my brother would try and come in with his Renault Lacar and his 3 goofball buddies and try and hang with us. Because we had Jeep friends, we had F-250 friends, we had all the, and we would go, we're like, hey, we're going camping for the weekend, we'll see you later. My brother's like, no, I'm going to come with you guys. We're like, Bri, you don't really have, and he's like, no, I'll be fine. And make that first right turn, and then it goes down, and there's some washout creek, and then it goes back uphill. And before we even get to the washout creek, my brother's high centered his Renault car, and it's just like teetering on a couple of rocks. And he gets his buddies out, and they lift the car off the rocks, and he tries to follow us up, and he can't make it. It's not going to happen. So we're like, toodaloo, and we just put it in 4 high. And
Well, that was a rough road.
it was.
There
It-
were parts of that road I had to fold the mirrors in
Yep.
to get to squeeze through.
through the trees.
Yeah. And at the same time, having to do a 3-point churn between them
Yeah.
to get through. It was,
Yeah,
it
because
was tight.
you're like, okay, I can make this turn. Yeah. It was a cool road. We had a great time. We learned a ton because, we're basically, I don't want to say teenagers, but we're basically teenagers, and we're just being, dumb with our vehicles. How do we learn to do this stuff? There's no King of the Hammers or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's no off-road school or anything. We have to go up there, break our stuff, or succeed and come back on Sunday evening.
Learn or
And
burn.
yeah, one way or the other, it's how we do it. So we had tons of awesome times up there. Our two vehicles were not the only ones that made it up. I remember Sean Hillawart's blue F-250.
Yeah.
Someone had a Jeep, a CJ5 or a CJ7 that went up there with us.
It wasn't Rick, was it?
No.
No, Rick had the pickup Wagoneer like yours, but it
Yeah.
was a pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. We had a bunch of people that went up, and we were pretty regular about it. Summertime camping up there was pretty amazing. And the road 296 kind of dissolved. Once you got past a certain point, that there was no more 296. It kind of like,
More of a suggestion than anything else.
yeah, there's kind of a field and some trees, and now there's no road. And you're like, where the hell are we supposed to go? So that was kind of fun part. And that's where we knew that was a good spot to camp. Just go back a little bit. That was the end of the road, and we could camp there.
Well,
But
there's a Forest Service gate up there.
yeah, and I think that Forest Service gate was kind of marking the end of like where
Yep.
the Forest Service goes.
That's where the road dissolved.
Yeah, and then after that, there were some tracks, but you couldn't find out. Did it go to the left in that field or go to the trees back towards Walton? Where we didn't really know. So
And there were
gate right
trees
there-
on both sides of it, so you couldn't drive around it.
Yeah, you can't go around the gate. So you just kind of stopped there because there was no more road. Nothing had been carved out. No one had, fjorded through there. So
Oh, did you tell them that I had on that front of that truck, an 8,000-pound Warren winch?
yeah, you had a winch on the front, and I remember you had a winch on the back too.
Nope,
Yeah, there was a winch in the bumper on the back.
not on mine. I always joked about that.
Was there part of the joke, and it stuck in my head?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I always said I won't say her name, but I wanted to run her over and backwards, so I'd have a winch on the back.
By the way, still missing my palette of Rockstar. One of these days, it's going to show up here. They'll just bring a truck and just drop it off. I'll do a live stream if Rockstar drops off a bunch of stuff. So one of the times, we'll just do a couple of stories because we have, like I said, we have probably 700 to 800 stories of doing dumb stuff with cars. So we'll just do a couple of these. The one I remember, and I think Mike remembers this too, was we went up 296, and for some reason I wanted to turn around, or I wanted to get behind the group. So there was this open meadow, and I came off the trail and I made a left, and I was going to just go back around and come in behind the group, whatever. And I came off the road and I went into this meadow, and my Jeep up to the door handles, it just sank. I didn't have time to put it in 4 low, to get on the gas or anything. It was like
You just drove out there and the wheels disappeared.
butter and mashed potatoes. I just went and sunk down, and I was up to the door handles. So I have like 30 or 32-inch tires on the Jeep, plus the door up to the door handles. So that's got to be almost 4 feet, and it's not mud; it's soft dirt. So I could still, when I got out of the sunroof. Remember, the sunroof came off automatically.
Yeah.
I just pushed the sunroof off. For some reason, that sunroof was indestructible. So I push the sunroof off. I get out, and I could actually stand on the dirt. But if you weighed more than 200 pounds or 500 pounds, it would start to sink down.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with my truck. I made the turn and it just absolutely sunk down until
We had to come back and get it.
yeah. I got a ride back. I think I got a ride back with you in the Jimmy, or someone else was up there with us. I know I didn't get a ride back with my brother. I'll tell you
No,
that.
because his car couldn't make it.
No, I would walk before I got in the Renault car. So I came back the next day with a couple of buddies and some shovels, and it took all day to dig that damn thing out.
Yeah.
But this one, and I'll do this because this one is my favorite, and I think it's probably Mike's favorite too. So this is Super Bowl night, and I don't remember what Super Bowl it was, but I remember Super Bowl night, and we had watched the first half of the Super Bowl at Waterford, and
Yep.
I think it was at my mom's place at Waterford, not my dad's. And we were going from Waterford over to Marshall and Damon's house.
Yep.
Over in Walton Creek. So there was no halftime show back then. There was a halftime show, but we didn't really give a shit about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
We used that
huge
halftime
thing.
to transition between homes.
Yeah, because we had more beer over at Damon and Marshall's, and we were out of beer at my mom's place.
Yeah.
Or pot or whatever the hell else we were doing. So we finished off the first half there, and then we had a little convoy of like 6 cars that was going over there. And it's a very simple route. It's probably what? Maybe 2 miles total?
If that.
But there was a ton of snow. And it was
the roads were
snowing
horrible.
really hard. The roads were white. There was no black on the roads. That's not racist. That's just what happens when it snows a lot. It was snowing really hard.
There's probably
So-
about 6 inches of snow on the road.
Yeah, we come out of Medicine Springs Drive and we make a left on, God, I can't even remember the name of the road. That goes to Walton Creek Road. It intersects.
I don't think I'm going to remember it.
Yeah, I'd have to look at a map again. I remember Medicine Springs Drive is where Waterford was on, but I don't remember
Yep.
that. I want to say it's whatever, La Montagne was on and the Gondola Road. Anyway, so we come out of that road and there's a stop sign right there. And Walton Creek Road is kind of steep. It starts off sort of flat and it goes uphill towards the mountain. And about halfway up is where this road intersects. And we come to the stop sign, and I don't remember who the first person was that went through the stop sign, but their back end came loose. And we didn't know that it was called drifting. We just knew it was fun that the back end came out. You could fishtail your car all you wanted because you had 5 inches of snow on the ground and the plows hadn't been through yet. So whoever went first, for some reason, I want to say it was like a Camaro. Was it Kim Singer in his Camaro?
It might have been.
Maybe. Anyway, we all learned to drive in this stuff because we had a choice. We could either learn to drive and go hang out with our friends, or not learn to drive in this stuff and stay at home and twiddle our thumbs or do other stuff.
Yeah.
So we all learned how to drive in this stuff. So Kim was the first one out, and there's no traffic because it's Super Bowl and it's snowing, so no one's out except us.
We were the only dumbasses.
We were the
on
only
road.
dumbasses out there right now. And so Kim goes and his Camaro whips around, and next up was Damon in his VW Bug. Remember his maroon VW
Yeah.
Bug? So Damon's up next, and he saw what happened to Kim, but Damon's going for it. So Damon comes out, and he absolutely flips the Bug around. He sends the ass end all the way over into the other lane. He's traveling like just halfway down Walton Creek Road, and he's just just maintaining throttle and keeping the ass end out. He's doing a great job. And this is at night. This is what, 8 or 9? No, yeah, it's probably 9 o'clock at night, maybe 10. And so the rest of us, there's like 5 other cars. We're watching this, and you hear Damon's Bug just redlining off, and he just goes down, and you're like, oh man, okay, that's funny. So I don't know. I think I was up next, and
Yeah, because you were in front of me.
was
Because
I?
you had the Cougar.
I had the Cougar.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, and I was always in competition with Damon. I'm probably still in competition with Damon. I just don't realize it. But I even when we were skiing, when we were doing anything else, I was always in competition with Damon. So I'm like, oh, Damon thinks he's a badass. Well, let me show you how to do it. So I came out of that stop sign and I absolutely romped on it. The back end in the Cougar comes right around. And I've been doing this a while. I know the feel, I know the car. So I'm holding it and I didn't call it a transition back then, but I knew what it was. The back end would then swing the other way. And so the back end comes around. And by the time it transitions this way, I could hit, uh, it's not Walton Creek Road, Whistler Road
Yeah.
that they lived on. I would be in a straight shot on Whistler Road and I could just hit it. So I would swing the back end around, transition to where I just hit that straight. And I knew it was going to be great. And I did it. And we're all kind of waiting down on Whistler Road and, for the other ones, because now it's like showtime. And we're going to like, oh, yeah, let's see what happens. It starts off as an accident. Your one buddy kicks it out a little bit. Next guy escalates it. My dumbass, throws fuel on the fire.
Yep. And
Here
that
comes-
prompted me.
Here comes Kitson.
Now,
Kitson's like, oh,
now,
those guys think they're badass. Let me show him what badass is, because he's in the Jimmy. So he's
now
four-wheel
here's
drive.
the important part is everybody in front of me had 2-wheel drive,
correct.
rear wheel drive,
He's 4 high.
and I had actually, I don't know if I was in 4 high or 4. No, I had to be in 4
You were
high.
4 high.
4 high, and I stomped on it and went around that corner. All 4 tires gripped, and it
Spun around.
I went 360 degrees around, and then
Here's the
ass
fun part.
first, ass
So,
first down
the
the
road,
ditch.
this road that goes up Walton Creek Road, if you go this way, it's a little dip into a parking lot for a condo complex. On this side of the road, it drops off about 10 feet into a big marsh field construct, because they were still doing Eagle Ridge then.
Yep.
So when Mike comes around and fully comes around, the back end drops off into that. Now Mike has a space shuttle because his headlights are pointing straight up. His 2 front tires are still up on Walton Creek Road. The back tires are well off the road. And we're now down about 300 yards. And there's a bunch of us kind of watching. And we're like, oh, shit. So
Where'd the spotlight come from?
Yeah, we pull into the condo complex's parking lot. It's called Shadow Run. We called it Shadow Burn.
Shadow burn
because it caught
or
on.
shadow run for your life.
Yeah, it caught on fire like 4 times. So we pull into that parking lot. We know there's a problem now. We're like, oh shit. We haven't seen Mike get out of the car. We don't know what's going on.
You
Is
know
he
how hard
alive?
it was to get out of that?
Yeah, well, okay, because you're trying to open the door, but it's like gravity's throwing it back at you.
Yep.
And you're what, 18, 17?
Yeah.
So you're not as strong
Maybe
as you are.
$150 soaking wet.
Yeah, so you're like trying to hold this 100-pound door up. And so we're now in the parking lot and we see him try and dig out. We see the front wheels go. And now
They're hopping and bouncing and trying
Yeah.
to grip.
and he's finally down to pavement, but there's no way that back end is just concreted into the snow. So we can hear him stop. He goes into 4 low. Now the wheels are doing the same thing, just at a much slower speed. So now we're out of our cars and we're giggling and we think this is funny as hell. We're on the other side. Meanwhile, he's in there going, my parents are going to kill me. I have to get this goddamn thing out of here. How am I going to do it? And he finally gets out of the truck and he comes over to us and he goes, you guys, I stuck this thing in there really good. It is not coming out. I've got a tow rope or I've got the winch. Can I hook up to one of your cars? We're like, dude, none of us had any grip. You watched us all like swing our asses
Yeah.
around.
But then I spotted the dumpster.
What do we got? Hey, Liz. Yeah, so we're like, okay. And a lot of people pin this on you, but I know it was a combined effort between like 8 dumbass kids. We're like, hey, let's hook it to the dumpster. Let's take the winch line all the way across this normally very busy
And
street.
it wasn't a 4-yard dumpster. It was one of the
It was a big boy.
big ones for the condo complex.
So let's just hook it up to the dumpster and we'll get the, use that and that'll lift it out. I think a lot of people say it was just your idea, but I believe it was a group consensus, or you presented it and we all just backed you up and we were like, yeah,
Something
dude,
like that.
yeah. What we didn't know was the dumpster had just been empty. So the dumpster is only like 700 pounds. And this is like a 7,000 pound GMC Jimmy. So we run the cable across the street. Now we have 2 people on the street directing traffic because we have a winch cable running across the street. So we have one person up there saying, hey, hold on. Another person stopping the other way. And we're giggling like idiots because this is some of the dumbest shit we've ever done. So we hook it up to the dumpster, go through the thing and loop it around. We give Mike the thumbs up, and he's in the truck and he's got the remote, and you hear the winch go, and we're like, yeah, oh yeah, this is gonna work. None of us are looking behind us. What's happening is the dumpster is slowly getting pulled towards us, and we hear the sound, and we're like, what the? All he's doing is pulling the dumpster towards the road. And so we're like, stop. And he's like, what? He can't see because he's pointed into space.
Yeah,
So he's like, what?
I'm looking
And
at
like,
orbit.
all you're doing is pulling the dumpster. And he's like, oh, shit. And now we're like, all right, we're going to miss the Super Bowl. So we're this is where I guess Top Gear rules kind of entered our lives. This is way before Top Gear. We're like, all right, Mike, good luck.
Yep.
Not really, though, because we actually went to Damon's house. We called a tow truck. They sent a tow truck out. We met the tow truck. And now this is a show for us.
Yeah,
now.
when the tow truck showed up, I had actually climbed up the top of my truck.
Yeah, you're
and
out of your truck.
The hood was sticking up about like that, and I'm actually sitting on the top of my hood,
waiting for the tow truck.
about 6 feet up off the ground.
It's so insane. I mean, this truck was 45 degrees, maybe 50, in the headlights pointing straight up. You can see the whole undercarriage. We could see the undercarriage from across the street. So,
well, the dumpster ended up in the street.
Yeah,
because
I think
the tow truck driver had to push it back.
Yeah, so it was a regular tow truck driver, like with a regular swing arm in the back, and he shows up. Now the roads are just getting even worse.
Yeah.
They're totally covered in snow. It's really bad. It's snowing really hard. So the tow truck driver is like, "Oh yeah, no problem." So again, we hop out there and we block off traffic, and the tow truck driver pulls down and he backs in, hooks up to the frame in the front of Mike's truck, and he tries to pull it downhill, to try and get momentum. Oh no. No.
The tow truck almost ended up in the ditch.
He swung around and he almost ended up in the ditch with Mike, but nose first. So the tow truck driver bailed out. Eventually, that tow truck driver called the big boy. They brought in one of the crane trucks,
Yeah, it's not a semi, but
yeah, it's
the one in between that had the crane arm.
Yeah,
on the back of
it has the hook, or the crane, the hydraulic.
Yeah.
The rotator. It's a rotator that comes out, and he puts down the big, stabilizer outriggers.
Yep.
And he's got a remote, and he comes over, and it's one of those things where they lifted the truck level, so Mike's down there digging out underneath, hooking in. The other guy's digging the other side. They brought the truck level, then lifted it up onto the road and set it down on the road. By the time all this is done, there's a new Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
We missed most of the game, but it was one of the most comical things I ever remember doing, just because it had started off as something so simple,
Yep.
just the back end of a car coming out.
That escalated quickly.
And within probably within a minute, we now had a very serious situation with a very big vehicle pointing at the sky. And I remember that extremely distinctly. I remember laughing with everyone in the parking lot when we figured out the dumpster was just getting pulled. It was one of those funny, crazy, dumb, you know, car stories. No one got hurt. No one, ended up in jail. It was one of those things that's just
It
you
was
couldn't.
completely innocent, but anybody else walking up on it would go, "How in the hell did you manage this?"
Yeah, there's a lot of questions would be asked when people would walk by and be like, "How did you?" Or when we didn't have a cable stretched across the road or a tow truck, they would look over and they would do the what? They had no clue how something like that could happen. So it's funny now. At the time, it was kind of funny. Now it's actually really hysterical because even today, I will tell you right now, if we went to that same road and it was snowing hard and we were all in the same cars, every single one of us
Would do the same thing.
exact same thing.
We wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we forgot, my brother in his Renault car, he launched out of there, grabbed his e-brake and swung his ass end around. So that was probably after Kim. Maybe he did it after your truck. Was he behind
He
you?
had to, yeah,
I think he was behind
because I
you.
know that you were in front of me with the Cougar.
Yeah, but I think my brother might have been in front. He might have been in front of Damon.
I might have.
I don't remember. Anyway, it's one of those fun stories, and even today, this is 3 decades later, we are still giggling our asses off about it because
That's where I got my nickname, Ditch,
that is, and
that night.
that was a huge. I mean, if he had done it in the summer, it actually would have been worse.
Yeah, because there was rocks and boulders. And
There
stuff
were
down in
huge
there.
rocks down there, and it would have been a lot further down.
Yeah.
And more than likely, at the angle that it had fallen, it probably would have flipped over on its roof. So, kind of good that it did it in the snow. I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
choking
didn't
on.
put a scratch on it.
Didn't hurt the Jimmy at all. It was actually just fine.
Yeah, I'm just glad I had towing coverage.
Yeah, AAA or whatever.
Yeah, they took care of all that. And
Yeah,
I don't think I ever told my folks.
that's cool. They know now. The other funny part is the tow truck driver thinking that he's just gonna yank this thing out
It's like, oh yeah, no problem.
like it's a Camry in a ditch. No, dude. And we knew that, and that's why we were laughing when he hooked up and thought that he was just gonna pop it out of
He
there.
put the wheel chocks behind it, and we're like, that's not gonna
Dude,
work.
that's not helping you. Yeah, it was funny to watch this thing just kind of swing over towards to the edge, and now we're just giggling. We're like,
Yeah, he actually stopped pulling on it, and his truck was still sliding.
yeah, that's
And
how
he
slippery
started
it was.
panicking because that's where he was headed.
Yeah,
right
it was
beside me.
so slippery, and even the people that were coming down were having a tough time stopping for us when we had the cables crossed and the
Yeah.
tow truck there. So we're lucky we didn't have other people like bonk into each other. We did so much dumb stuff
Yeah.
that it was a lot of fun. And then talking about all these stories today, and cruising around in the Viper and going to dinner and stuff, and just remembering all of these things. It's one of those, like, I guess this is where it's a good thing we don't have phones in our pockets back then, because it's more fun to talk about it.
There'd be a
than
lot
it
more
is-
evidence.
There'd be more evidence, but you could look at a picture or a little video clip and you'd be like, oh yeah, and it'd be easy to dismiss it because that's all we see now. When you have that memory and you can talk about it and you're like, I remember the color of the Jimmy. It wasn't red, it wasn't orange. It was
in between. It was
like
like
a sunset red,
yeah.
and it was this super cool color. I remember the foot warmer. Never would have gotten a picture of the foot warmer, even if I had a phone camera.
Yeah.
Never would have done that. But I talk about that stuff because that's one of those things that digs in. So that's why it's fun to remember this stuff. I think it's personally a lot of fun, and it's been really cool to have Mike here and talk about kind of the my budding stupidity with cars. And I would say where it all started, but it started way, way, way before then.
Well, you know what happened. You remember me rolling the engine on that with the oil pump seized up on it.
I
Up
don't.
on rabbit ears. We
I
were
don't.
up there camping again, and the oil pump seized up,
On
and
the Jimmy.
on the Jimmy, and we were at the campsite.
I don't remember that.
And I made the decision that I wasn't walking out of there because I mean that was the only vehicle we had. And we hopped back in it, and it was starting to overheat by the time we got to the paved road. And I drove that thing all the way into Steamboat, drove it right to the repair shop,
I
and
don't
when I
remember
shut
that.
it off, the whole thing shuddered when the bearings rolled in it.
I don't remember that. I don't
Yeah.
remember losing oil pressure up there.
Yeah.
Was I with you guys on that trip?
I don't know. It might have been Brian.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I would have
Yeah.
remembered I would have remembered an engine locking up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that engine was toast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was such a cool ride. I always loved the Jimmy, and I was always super envious of that foot warmer. Did your dad put that in?
Yeah.
Was that one of your dad's things?
Yeah, my dad, being the nuclear engineer he was.
Yeah, he always had this super cool shit. So
Yeah.
that one I will never forget. I was always envious of that. And I did get a foot warmer later on in life. And I don't, you know what? This will scare the shit. You know what I had a foot warmer in? I had a foot warmer in a 1989 Dodge Shadow SE, not an ES SE.
Was that brown Shadow you had?
Brown Dodge Shadow.
Where
yeah.
you had the little plastic things that looked like fingers that were
Dude, I still have
coming
those.
out of the trunk lid?
I still have those.
Do you?
I might have them here.
Yeah, you always said that was your brother.
Yeah, I might have them here. I had those. I had those on a bunch of different cars. I had them on my Concorde. I had them on a whole bunch of stuff. Or sorry, Intrepid. I didn't have a Concorde. I had an Intrepid. Shit, I wish I had a Concorde. I still have those fingers. I think they're in Ohio, but yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing tonight is bullshitting. And then Mike's heading out tomorrow. He's got 2 more stops before heading out of the country.
Yep, 2 more stops, and then I moved to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Okay. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. It's his show, so I don't want to tell everyone the trip. And Teddy's going with. You guys can't see Teddy, who's right here.
Yeah, he's sleeping at our feet.
He is enjoying the cool concrete. He had a rough day today. We were not here when the storms rolled through, so he did not have any support when those storms came through, and so he's still recovering from that. But he's a tough cookie, and yeah, he's an awesome dog. Awesome dog. I can't tell if he's dreaming or swatting at the fur.
Swatting at the fur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. Nothing else major. Let's see. We've got Sarasota Cars and Coffee tomorrow morning. We've got a surprise birthday party that the Miata and the Viper and the limo are going to tomorrow afternoon in the neighborhood. This 12-year-old's aunt is putting together a group of car people to do a drive-by and totally surprise this 12-year-old boy on his birthday tomorrow. And she posted one of the car groups, and all these guys signed up. And so we're going to do a whole bunch of laps around the house with a bunch of different cars and hopefully just blow this kid's mind. That'll be a lot of fun. And then tomorrow evening is an event at the BW3s in Del Taco in Port Charlotte. Del Taco's so good. I know it's not great food, but I like Del Taco. A lot of cool people, a lot of cool cars at that.
You should try
And
Taco Bus.
Taco Bus?
Oh my God, yes,
Okay.
Taco Bus. Give it a shot.
I'll look for it. Sunday, we're probably we tried to do the shoot today, but the storms rolled in so fast. We didn't get very many pictures today. Definitely didn't get any rollers. But there'll be some stuff up on Instagram probably. And then hopefully Sunday the weather clears out and I'll take the Viper back up and we'll do a whole bunch more rollers. And we're trying to schedule a kind of a bigger shoot and something a little more beach sunshiny, beachy. Today there was, I mean, when we bailed on that group and went back to the highway to come back here, there's tree branches all over the road. People like stopped in the middle of the road because there's tree branches. And then the rain all the way back, it's like a half hour back, it's just all rain. So
Yeah, and there was a lot of water on the road.
yeah, there was a lot of
A lot of
hydroplaning.
water came down fast.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, but that's part of the gig. And we did have fun. We met some cool people. That guy's Camaro is a rebadged SS. It was actually pretty badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, tons more stuff coming up, and I have a ton more parts coming for the Miata. Also, no more hyper flashing on the Miata. I solved that last night. I'll show you guys. I don't know if I'll show you guys, but I'll tell you guys how I did that trick with LED bulbs and hyper flashing, and it costs $0.00. So it's a cool little mod I found on one of the Miata forums. So I'll show you guys that. It's the guy who figured it out. The electrical engineer is a pretty smart cookie. So I'll share that with you guys. And yeah, waiting on Miata parts. And also we'll have the limo in here next week for the Sniper system to go back on it. So tons more car stuff coming up. You got to sit around and bullshit with your car buddies from 30 years ago. So
From way back.
Yeah, from back in the day. And so hopefully you guys like this. If you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, I know you've got, Mike and I have got another 7,000 stories.
Oh yeah.
But we'll save them for another time. And
well, maybe you can come visit me, and
yeah, we'll do a live stream from the Dominican.
Yeah,
that's actually not a bad idea. And we'll come up with some more stories, and we'll try and clean them up and make sure the statute of limitations is passed and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a few of those.
Yeah,
like,
well, you can make sure on that. They won't find me.
Oh yeah, if you're down there, they're not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be
never
good.
mind.
I'll hang out with the rest of the fugitives.
Okay. So yeah, thanks you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, definitely put them down there. I'm happy to answer those.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of Teddy,
he has his Facebook.
Oh yeah, it's what's his Facebook page?
Teddy Kitson.
Teddy Kitson. TEDDY KITSON.
Yep.
So you can find this awesome dog on Facebook, and he's got his own page.
He's always putting posts out about his travels and where he's going,
all his training and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you're gonna follow a car, you might as well follow a dog, right? So yeah, that's about it for tonight. We got a bunch of stuff coming up this weekend. We're gonna keep going, and then next week we got a ton more stuff too. So thanks everyone for hanging out. And God, you guys, tell me that my hair does this. Don't let me. Why do I find out at the end? No one says anything like, hey, Kev, maybe you want to fix that?
I'm right there with you.
I mean, it got wet from the rain, but damn. What is this? What is happening here? Anyway, all right.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, thanks for coming down. This has been awesome. And thanks for bringing Teddy. And thanks for hanging out today. We had a good time, despite the rain. And
did you want me to get your gift?
Oh, yeah. You want to show that?
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
get your gift.
No, you hold him because he'll follow you. Hang on, you guys. I want to show you this.
All right.
Mike brought me this really
something
cool
that I make, and I wanted to bring one down. I haven't seen Kevin in a long time, so I wanted to make sure that I brought something down that he would remember.
Jesus, dude, I thought this was hollowed out. This is solid. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's heavy. It's solid.
Check this thing out. How awesome is that? And I thought it was hollowed out because it was just resting against the counter. It's totally solid. This is not made in China bullshit.
And I sign it.
Oh, cool.
With my military designation right there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is super cool. Of course, I'm a guy, so I have no pictures or anything hung up in the house. So this gives me a reason to hang stuff up. And the paracord hanger. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, this thing's heavy as shit. I gotta find a cool spot for that.
Yep.
Oh, as I bonk the ladder, I'm just gonna sort
Yeah, I
of
wanted
set it.
to give him a nice present.
Yeah,
Something
that's
to
really
remember me
cool, man.
by while I leave.
That's heavy though.
Yeah.
I need another truck when I go to move that. I need another truck.
I used to, when I first started doing those, I donated them to a gentleman in Orlando that put them in an auction to raise money to send care packages to sailors overseas
Oh, that's cool.
or soldiers overseas. And the first year I donated it, the auction, that flag went for $1,800.
That's awesome.
The second year it went for $2,300.
That's
So
cool.
it was able to raise a lot of money for the soldiers.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, pretty proud about that.
Yeah, we used to send care packages to my brother, and then we would send them to. There was another address where it could go to random people,
Right.
and so we'd send one to my brother, and then we'd send, 10 other ones with it,
Yeah.
and it would go to,
Yeah.
whoever didn't get a package that week or whatever.
And I received one or two of those while I was over there.
Yeah, yeah. There's always a list of who's getting the next one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
That's
it was
cool.
very much appreciated.
yeah, cool. Yeah, I love that. That's really cool. I got to figure out. It'll actually be perfect in the shop, in the new shop that gets
Nice.
built. It would be awesome there. I'll find a place here in the house, but when the new shop gets built, because that's heavy duty. That's like what Todd Isaacs does at Ironwood Garage with his welding and his stuff.
And that finish
Heavy duty.
is an epoxy UV set.
So
you can
it's
you can
sunlight
pour
okay?
you can pour acetone on that,
Okay.
and it's not going to touch it.
I'll get it up on the wall so it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
get boogers and stuff.
But it's a very good finish. It can stay out in the weather.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely stay inside. So yeah, that's very cool. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks again everyone for hanging out tonight, and we'll catch you later on this weekend. We'll do more car stuff, less bullshit stuff, and that's about it. So don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give me a kiss on the cheek, give me a kiss on the tip of their nose, hold their hand, give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but like Teddy, who's pretty much asleep,
Yep. He's out.
it's far more important for you. All right, thanks everyone. We will catch you later on this weekend.
Be
All right.
safe.
Thanks. I'm going to scoot forward and do this so classlessly. Teddy, you're a good dog.
You're a